You're watching ESPN's Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers. We are in Memphis, the first of back-to-back games at the FedEx Forum for the Memphis Tigers. Tonight, the undefeated and 18th ranked Tennessee Lady Vols have come west to take on the Tigers. Tennessee 8-0 in the season, the top scoring team in the country. The Tigers ready for the challenge here in downtown Memphis. It is great to have you with us with Christy Thomas-Scuddy. I am Eric Freed, and we're all curious about this Tennessee program. They keep winning. 8-0 in the season, new head coach, completely new and unique system, and now in the top 20 in the national rankings.
Absolutely. If you don't know about this system, it's shoot the three. It is defense first and foremost, and the biggest thing that's been a surprise to me is how well they've created second chance opportunities on the offensive glass.
Did you say shoot the three?
Shoot the three.
Make the three, because in their last game, they set a record by making 33 pointers in their win.
Well, Tennessee leads the country in three-point attempts per game. They lead the country in threes made per game. In the win against North Carolina Central, 11 different players attempted a three-pointer. 9 different players made a three. And Samara Spencer went off with 9 of 13.
The most in Division I women's basketball, and more than any NBA team has ever done in a game, any Division I men's team has ever done in a game, any WNBA team has ever done in a game. That's how many threes they made. It'll be a big challenge for Memphis tonight, but they get some help here tonight because Dee Hageman makes her Memphis debut.
The All-Big 12 second team selection started 72 of 82 games at Michigan State the last 3 years. I asked Alex Simmons, what does Dee Hageman bring to your ball club? She said she brings a 3-level scorer with leadership, basketball IQ, and a presence on the floor.
Opening tip controlled by Tennessee. Don't blink, because Tennessee, as Christy mentioned, they'll press the entire game. They'll take threes, and if they miss threes, they'll go get the rebound and take another one. And you see that right away. Defensive rebound for Memphis. That's going to be so important here for the Tigers as Hageman pushes it, and Memphis won't be afraid to push tempo here tonight against Tennessee.
Alex Simmons said if we have an advantage in transition, we're taking it. Otherwise, we want to try out and work some clock.
Chili Bowler gets the first points of the game. Here's Memphis bringing some of that pressure. Tennessee's starting 5. They won't be on the court very long because Kim Caldwell will make wholesale substitutions. Tess Darby knocks down the 3. That's her 22nd made 3 of the season.
So key for Memphis to take care of the basketball. That's why it's huge that Hageman joins the club with her first start here at Memphis, because they need her leadership. They need her decision-making on the floor.
Oh, Bowler, how about her start? Leading scorer for this Memphis team at better than 15 points a game. They've lost 6 in a row. They're 2-7. They've been decimated by injuries. Tennessee with a 3 on the other end and the rebound for Elijah Smith.
Well, you've seen Memphis starting that 1-2-2 3-quarter press, and Tennessee's gotten the 3 looks so far. I'm eager to see if there's any adjustments by Memphis as this game goes on.
Hageman became eligible after the first semester for Memphis. That's why she's making her debut here today. Bowler off to the great start. Shot clock down to 6, and an illegal screen is called on the Tigers. And we'll get our first look at 3 bench players for this Tennessee team, as Sarah Puckett will come into the game. Kaniah Boyd and Jules Spear both back from injury. Boyd was in concussion protocol, didn't play against NC Central, and Jules Spear missed the last 2 games with a leg injury.
And that's an example. Z Spearman just started walking to the bench because she assumed she was going to get subbed out, but her coach was like, no, stay on the floor.
Here's Cooper on the drive. Can't get it, and a rebound for Tanya Welch. And we mentioned they'll want to push it against this Tennessee team.
Well, Kim Caldwell has said this about her half-court defense. It needs to improve. Alex Simmons really challenged her team to try to beat Tennessee off the bounce and get to the rim.
Here's Cooper. Z Spearman, and that gets pinned up there. Possession arrow will give it to Memphis. So Kim Caldwell is in her first season as the Tennessee head coach after 1 season at Marshall and 7 seasons in a national championship at her alma mater, Glenville State. You follow the story. This was a surprise hire at Tennessee, but she has come in here with a unique completely different system, and so far so good. She'll be the first to tell you it hasn't been the toughest schedule, but they did knock off Florida State. They did knock off Iowa, and she told us today, we have not even come close to playing our best so far, and to be 8-0 is great.
Well, to all the future opponents out there, I asked her, where are you right now in the big scheme? She said, we're probably at a 5 out of 10. This is a team that just put 130-plus points, only at a 5 right now.
Good defense by Memphis. Welch gets the steal. Welch weaving through traffic on the push, and the finish. The sophomore from Indianapolis, who didn't play last year, was a medical redshirt, coming off a career-best 21 points in the win against Troy. Great start for Memphis here against the Lady Vols.
We've talked about Dee Hageman coming back, but I'm eager to see how it affects Welch on the floor, because now Welch can move to the 2 spot and really look to score.
Cold start so far, Puckett on the putback. So Tennessee is now 1 for 5 from outside the 3-point line, and 2 for 7 overall from the field.
And Eric, as soon as Tennessee scores, or even on a miss, they will get to that run and jump defense. And this is where it's key for Memphis not to get too sped up in the press breaker.
Here's Spear as an opening breakdown defensively for Memphis, and Jewel Spear picks up 2. Off the make, Tennessee with the pressure. Memphis has done a good job so far taking care of it, and Bowler's got an open look for 3. Great start for Tilly Bowler. She's played well against big teams in the past. While playing for Jackson State, she posted her career high. It was against Connecticut in the NCAA tournament when she went for 25. Bodies on the floor, jump ball, possession arrow will give it to Tennessee.
Tilly Bowler came into today only shooting 30% from 3, but already 2 big corner makes for Memphis here early in this game.
Well, Tennessee will swap out the 5 on the floor for 5 off the bench. Alyssa Latham into the game. Tennessee has used 9 different starters. No one has started every game. That's Whitehorn on the drive. Gets her own miss for 2. Whitehorn, 3rd on the team in scoring at 12.5 points a game, and a turnover for Memphis. That is just their first turnover in the first 4 minutes plus of this game.
And that's the Dee Hageman effect. She's been key in the press breaker. They've been under control and poised so far against the run and jump. But there is a cumulative effect for teams when you face nonstop pressure like this Tennessee team. Eager to see how much Memphis has in the tank here late in the game.
On the pull-up, Memphis coming out and answering the challenge so far. Welsh knocks it down. Quickly back the other way, the miss by Hollingshed.
But just look how quickly the full court pressure starts as soon as there's a miss, and now you see them trying to get the jump on Welch.
Smith will launch it. Can't get it, and the rebound for Tess Darby. Samara Spencer off to Whitehorn. Hollingshed walks. That's the 3rd turnover for Tennessee. So Tennessee on the season averaging 14 turnovers a game. And yes, here come
more
the changes. Yes, they're forcing on average 30 turnovers a game. That's best in Division I. Getting 17 steals a game. That's best in Division I.
Right now, on average, they're plus 40 because of second chance opportunities and those steals that you're talking about. That's a big margin of error for this Lady Vol ball club every night.
And they turned Iowa over 30 times in that victory over the then 17th ranked Hawkeyes. Turnover here for Memphis, and that will get us to our first media timeout. I must say, this is a good start for Memphis against this Tennessee team, up by 3 in the opening minutes.
Welcome back to Memphis, where Talaysia Cooper is now being described playmaker, stat stuffer, one of the top sophomores in the country because she does a little bit of everything for the Lady Vols. The steal and score, can knock it down from deep, creates so well off the bounce, but affects opponents so much when the Lady Vols are on defense with her athleticism and closeout speed.
She's been clutch too in those wins against Iowa and Florida State. The fourth quarter of those games, she was a combined 11 of 16 and 22 points. You see what she's done in her last 5 games. She's gone for 20 or more in each of the 5 games.
And it's consistency. She had 6 points in the second game of the year, and since then, the last 5, she has been on a tear. And that's what the Lady Vols need. As much as we talk about the balance scoring, you still want to know who's that player at clutch time that you can go to get you that bucket.
Memphis with the press out of the media timeout, trying to slow down this Tennessee attack. So far, Tennessee 33% from the field, 4 of 12, 1 of 7 from outside the 3-point line. Cooper on the turnaround, won't drop for it, and it's last touched by Spearman. It's Memphis basketball.
One thing Alex Simmons kept preaching to her team yesterday in practice was keep fighting for rebounding position. So far, they've done a really good job at trying to limiting Tennessee on the glass.
We talked about Hageman would be a difference maker for this Memphis team, although a turnover here. But getting it back after the weak handoff by Lakin Cox. Good hustle to get it back for Memphis. 10 on the shot clock. Hageman got it, and the foul. Great take by D.D. Hageman.
Well, Memphis looks like they've got their player who, when you need a bucket, can go get it. Hageman just drives it baseline, and I like how she sealed Cooper off on her backside to force not only the foul, but giving her the position to score.
What did Alex Simmons told us? She had a text on her phone early this morning from D.D. Hageman. Said, Coach, want to get us some early shots today. A little excited to be on the court for the first time this season. Open look from 3. Off the mark. Spearman follow no. This is what Tennessee does. They crash the boards. They have more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds coming into this game. 174 offensive rebounds, 172 defensive rebounds.
Well, I'm going to use a little asterisk with that defensive rebound because they turn teams over so much that number's low for them. But already 5 offensive rebounds for the Lady Vols. Memphis has to stay strong and keep them off the glass to stay in this game.
I'm going to double asterisk you. Have you ever seen a team, I don't care how many asterisks you throw on it, have more offensive rebounds 8 games into the season than defensive rebounds as a couple of players go down? I mean, if you asterisk me, I'm going to asterisk you back. Oh, hang on. We're being interrupted by the FCS playoffs. You're lucky. College football Saturday. It's the semifinal round. 2-time defending national champs South Dakota State taking on North Dakota State, and then the top seed Montana State hosting South Dakota and Bozeman. A trip to the championship on the line. Both games also available on ESPN+. So you catch those on ABC.
And Eric got to get away from the asterisk game, but that last foul on Elijah Smith is her second, and that is one thing Alex Simmons said to me yesterday. Have to keep Smith on the floor here today to have a chance.
For the shorthanded, they get Hageman back today, but they are still without 5 players who are in street clothes today. There you see Alex Simmons, second season at Memphis, of course. Won a couple of national champions, playing for the Lady Vols. There's a corner three from Tess Darby, her second of the game. She has both of the Tennessee threes. She's 2 for 3. The rest of the team is 0 for 6 from outside the arc. Hageman with the pass fake and gets fouled by Latham.
This is just a different Memphis ball club than all the games that I've watched leading up to it. And the difference is Hageman, true point guard that knows when to attack, when to pull it out. And you just see that little fake there, but knows she's taking it up strong. And this is the vulnerability right now that I've seen of Tennessee so far in this season. Just that one-on-one, can you contain and dribble penetration?
Tamaya Smith, freshman from Pleasant Grove, Alabama, comes in. She played all 10 games now in the season for Memphis. And Hageman knocks down the first. Michigan State the last 3 seasons, Big Ten second team selection last year, averaged 12 points a game, 5 assists, a 3-year starter. for the Spartans. Excellent when it comes to assist. The turnover ratio was #1 in the Big Ten in that category a season ago.
Alex Simmons said to me yesterday, she said, Hageman texted me after the first or second game and said, can I meet with you? And she said, I didn't know what this was going to be about.
And she was not playing.
And she's not playing.
Just practicing.
And the team is struggling a little bit. And she said, Coach, I am all locked in. And Alex said that from that moment on, she has been dialed in on the court, off the court. Hadn't taken a day off when she wasn't playing because she just felt like she needed to get better and better for when her opportunity arose. And so far, she's risen to the occasion here this evening.
Darby with a catch and shoot. Good fight by the freshman. Smith for the rebound. I love your point about Hageman and how it's looked different on the offensive end. They are locked in defensively better than what we've seen for Memphis so far this year.
She's the leader of this team. Yesterday, practice wasn't going well. She's the one that said, Coach, and huddled her team up and got the mind right and got the practice back on the right track.
Off the miss, that's out of bounds. The 5 on the floor will head to the bench for Tennessee. There you see Alex Simmons. Shelbyville, Tennessee native, taking on her alma mater here today. Cooper back on the floor for Tennessee. She'll defend Hageman.
And that's one thing with Cooper. They did not want Cooper on the ball. They have so much respect for Cooper's one-on-one defensive disruption. But I think Hageman's like, no, I got this, Coach.
Hageman with the floater. She's got 7, Bowler with 8, and Memphis is up by 5, 90 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Puckett on the turnaround for 2.
Well, those who have followed Kim Caldwell's system, when she was at Marshall, she wanted threes and layups. She didn't want the mid-range. I asked her about that today. She said, I got players who can make it, so I don't want to take anything away. And Puckett, one of the best on the Lady Vols of that mid-range game.
She just wants the best available shot as early as it comes, right? There's not a set number of shots that Tennessee's looking for.
She wants more possessions than the other team. And Eric, this is just astonishing. They're averaging 83 shots a game right now.
Spear off the turnover. Chance for a three-point play. Jewel Spear and 1.
Eric, it's nice to see Jewel Spear back in action. Known so much as a three-point shooter, but there knows she has numbers in transition and just attacks the defender to get the and-one opportunity.
Foul on Raven Sims, and Spear will head to the free throw line. Came off the bench this season against Liberty after starting the first 3. It was the first time in her time at Tennessee. This is her second season that she was not in the starting 5. Someone can get hot in a hurry.
I had a chance to ask Jewel Spear today about the change in the system. And she said, you know, it's a challenge because you really have to be mature and have a short-term memory. At the same time, it's really liberating because you know you're coming back in and you're going to have more opportunity to shoot and score.
Sims on the pull-up too strong. How about Memphis getting on the offensive glass? Not once, but twice, and it'll be their possession. The Tigers were a -15 in rebounding margin in their most recent game. That was a loss at Troy on Saturday.
And it's just effort, and that's what they preached for the last 2 days. Don't just stop with one little bit of effort. Keep giving the effort, and that's exactly why they've extended this scoring opportunity.
Read perfectly by Cooper, flipped ahead to Spear, maybe a little bit too far. And good hustle by Raven Sims. Sims did not play against Troy. She's on a minutes restriction, coming back from an injury. She's a really good defender.
Well, Eric, you talked about the negative rebounding in the last game against Troy. It's been a rotation of post players right now due to the injuries. Right now, you've got 5 players who are out for Memphis. Some permanently for the season, some are a little bit day-to-day, but it has especially affected the post play. And that's why they started the season off really strong on the glass, and that number's just continued to drop because of the rotation at post.
Hannah Riddick is out. She's their leading rebounder. She started the first 4. She's got a leg injury. Josiah Fulmore, tied for second on the team in rebounding. She's out tonight as well. So missing some of that size inside. Cooper throws it outside. Whitehorn looks for the line and buries the 3. 5 points for Whitehorn. 8-0 run for the Lady Vols to close out the first quarter. Tough shot with the game clock winding down, but getting it up and in time for the basket. The Memphis Tigers will be down by 1, but a good way to finish with Sims beating the buzzer.
Well, bottom line is the coaching staff wanted the extra effort. I think they're going to be really thrilled with this by Sims.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by K, the official partner of couples who love the game. Big smile in the center there from Alex Fuller from 2004 to 2009, part of 2 national titles at Tennessee in 07 and 08. Now Alex Simmons in her second year as the head coach at Memphis, 7th overall as a head coach in Division I basketball.
There were 2 different opportunities the last 2 days in practice where you just saw Pat's tutelage upon Alex and the way she handled players one-on-one and reminding them of a standard that she expects them to play to and uphold within this Memphis program.
First possession of the second quarter. How about the freshman? Smith leans in to get the 2.
Tamaya Smith has tons of potential. You can just tell she's young right now.
Cooper with the drive, the kick to the corner, spear for 3.
And here's what you got to be careful of when you play Tennessee. Shooting is contagious with this team. You see 1 or 2 go down, and it feeds the defense.
They get the steal. Here's Spencer. Spencer, beautiful drive. Can't get it, but they're on the glass. Whitehorn finding the open player outside, but Spearman traveled.
That's a high percentage look for Spearman. I would love to see her just go up immediately from 3.
Five turnovers for Memphis. Hageman needs some help. Gets it from Cox. Can't get the pull-up, and here comes Spencer back the other way.
And that's going to be the key for Memphis. When Tennessee goes to jump, and what I mean by jump is that's the double team on the ball handler. They've got to be able to get it out to the weak side open player.
Great job by Spencer. Second chance opportunity. Spearman inside, and a quick timeout called by Alex Simmons. Just 1:14 into the second quarter as Tennessee is on top by 4 in Memphis. Night so far for Tennessee, yet they keep getting opportunities, and you get enough opportunities, you can make some hoops.
Well, 6 different players have an offensive rebound for Tennessee, and it's just relentless pursuit, whether they're already in the paint or they're running in from the 3-point line to pursue the long rebounds. Already in this game, 8 offensive rebounds for Tennessee, 11 second chance points, and this is going to be key for Memphis because Tennessee came into tonight averaging 22 boards against night, turning those into 22 points.
Another thing, they're first in Division I.
There's a lot.
It's a long list.
Scoring offense.
Yep, check.
Offensive rebounds.
Check.
Steals per game.
Check.
Threes attempted.
Check.
Threes made.
Check.
Turnovers forced.
Check.
Scoring margin.
That's 7. Thought there was something else too. You'll come up with something. And that's what Alex Simmons has been dealing with. And they've led longer in this game than Tennessee has, but right now it's Tennessee on top by 4.
Well, we went into the quarter break and Memphis was +1 on the glass. And after that quick time, before that timeout, Tennessee has already gone up 2-1.
Hageman. Been outstanding in her debut. She's got 9 to lead all scorers. Spencer. Darby. Inside Latham was bumped and just had to drop it. And she picked it up, so it's a traveling violation. Turnover number 5 for Tennessee. Memphis has just 5 turnovers so far.
When you execute a run and jump, you got to have good players on the ball, because those are the ones who are running over to double team the ball handler. And I asked Coach Caldwell today, who are your two best at doing that? And she said without hesitation, Cooper and Boyd. And so you see a little bit of a letdown in the run and jump when those two aren't on the floor.
Spencer determined to get it to the basket. And she was on the ground, and that's who Smith tumbled over, so Spencer gets called for the foul. Saturday on ESPN men's basketball triple header. Cuse and Maryland get it started at the Barclays Center. Then it's 25th ranked Clemson and Wake Forest. And then capping the day, 16th ranked Purdue, 2nd ranked Auburn coming up on Saturday. Hageman needs some help. Picked up her dribble.
Nice job by Smith to come back to the ball and take it in.
How about that? Smith on the drive. That's her first points of the game. She's averaging 12 points a game. That's second on the team. Back the other way, Hageman. Great adjustment, great finish, and the foul. A chance for a three-point play. D.D. Hageman, welcome to Memphis.
Well, Memphis flipping the script here with the 1-2-2. D.D. Hageman, quick hands, gets the turnover, and then just takes it up through the contact.
6-0 run for Memphis. You get sent. That timeout was going to be needed for Simmons because she didn't want things to speed up on this Memphis team. And she settled her team down, and they're back in front.
It's so important to have a point guard who knows how to handle pressure defense. And so far, Hageman is A+ in terms of handling this pressure from Tennessee.
Spearman.
And one thing that the 1-2-2 has done against Tennessee is it's slowed them down. They're not shooting as quickly as they would like to.
Cooper got tangled up. Battle for the loose ball. That's going to be a backcourt violation. She stepped over. And it'll be Memphis basketball. I think in one of the most shocking developments so far, Tennessee has more turnovers than Memphis. And we've played 13 minutes.
Well, Kim Caldwell to the media earlier this week said this is a big 4-game stretch. 3 games and 4 games for the Lady Vols. And I think she was even a little concerned with all the national attention that Tennessee got after that North Carolina Central game. She kept it in check. In the film session, it was only the things they needed to do better.
Hageman denied the assist when the basket wouldn't go down, and then Memphis turns it over. Beautiful pass by Hageman. She's smiling as she's skipping out towards midcourt. Well, Kim Caldwell will be the first to tell you, outside of the Iowa and Florida State games, it has not been that challenging a schedule. And as you mentioned, 3 games in 4 days. After tonight's game, they'll fly down to West Palm Beach. They'll play Richmond and Tulsa. The SEC opener the day after New Year's at Texas A&M. We'll talk about the SEC, their place in it, the big picture in the conference as we go along here this evening. Latham can't get that to drop. 1 and done for Tennessee this trip. Welch. Smith comes to help. Numbers back the other way. And a foul called on Tennessee. If you break the pressure, you're going to have an opportunity at the basket. And it'll be a chance at the line here for Memphis.
Alasia Smith has just been so good at coming to the ball and then being that decision maker and getting the ball where it needs to be when they've got numbers. This time, Smith to get younger Smith to the free throw line.
The younger Smith had 4 points and 4 rebounds in 22 minutes off the bench against Troy last time out. And she's got 4 already tonight against the 18th ranked team in the country. 9-0 run over the last 2 minutes plus for Memphis to go up by 5. Their largest lead was 6 in the first quarter. Good hands by Welsh to get in there to try and force another turnover, and Memphis does. How about the Tigers so far here in the first half? Welsh. Bit of a heat check. And Memphis is red hot right now. I looked over at Alex Simmons. She had the biggest smile in the building after that take to the basket.
Well, Didi Hageman's going to have a second biggest smile because the competitor in her is loving this opportunity right now.
11 straight points. Here comes Memphis with the ball, tons of confidence and the lead. Welch, pass inside, knocked away by Tennessee, and it'll be Memphis basketball.
I said early in the broadcast, I can't wait to see how Danielle Welch will respond to having Hageman on the floor with her, and she is not disappointed. Amazing what she can do around the rim, this young player. Didn't play last year, medical redshirt, and has been getting her groove going early part of this season.
6 points, 3 rebounds, then a mistake. Welch and Smith knock it out of bounds. I think a lot of times if a team was on the receiving end of an 11-0 run, that team would call a timeout, but Kim Caldwell, at least in the early going, has not been someone to take timeouts. Wants her team to figure things out on the floor for themselves. Cooper, no. Cooper, no. Spearman, no, but a trip to the free throw line.
We've talked a lot about Tennessee's three-point shooting, but for a team that is much bigger than their opponent right now, Tennessee is struggling to finish at the rim. Only 6 of 15 on point-blank shots at the rim.
Z Spearman ends the Memphis run. So it was an 11-0 run for the Tigers. That put them up 34-27. Spearman, who played at Miami the last 2 seasons. Cooper couldn't hold on to it. Memphis has it. They'll push it right away. Hageman attacks the basket. Wild shot. And here comes Tennessee the other way. Faking being fouled, warning given by one of the officials, Mark Rush. Three-pointer back the other way for Tennessee. Jewel Spear into double figures now with 11.
Bowler needs to follow that shot.
Spear thought about it. Will take it in from closer and hands up on her head because, you know, looking back to the bench saying, my bad. Even if she made that three, she was coming out of the game because here come 5 fresh bodies on the floor for Tennessee.
And it's not like that's not Jewel Spear's range. So I would have loved to seen her just pull that from deep. I gotta tell you, Eric, for this being Didi Hageman's first live action and going against this nonstop pressure, she doesn't really look winded.
Well, what did Alex Simmons say? She wasn't going to leave the floor. So,
where I've enjoyed watching Hageman play, you can just tell she loves this level of competition. She loves this challenge.
Played at a high level in the Big Ten. A tough shot, won't drop it, a trip to the line for Smith.
That's one thing about Tennessee. They're averaging 21 fouls committed a game. Now, some of that's the pace of play, obviously, but that's one of those areas that I would look to see them improve upon as SEC play looms.
Whitehorn will have to check out with her second personal foul. Smith, by the way, picked up her 3rd personal previously from Memphis. So she's on the bench right now. Again, Memphis shorthanded here today, but they do have Hageman back, and that's been a big lift for them. Also getting Raven Sims back, even though she's on limited minutes here tonight. 4-point lead for the Tigers. Cooper, strong take for 2. First points for Talaysia Cooper after missing her first 6 field goal attempts.
I like that Hageman came and got the ball. You want to try to push when you got numbers, but don't force bad shots.
Bowler was fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line to shoot a couple.
Bowler came in leading the Tigers in scoring, and a lot of it's been the mid-range game for her. She is so good at elevating in that mid-range area, and this time getting to the free throw line.
Even though Memphis has struggled to pick up wins in the non-conference schedule, they have had balanced scoring, 5 averaging in double figures as they get closer and closer to their American opener, which will be New Year's Day against Wichita State on campus at the El Marone Fieldhouse.
Well, one thing for Memphis is they will be battle ready for the American. They have had the gauntlet of a schedule. They opened up in an exhibition game against South Carolina here in this arena. They played Mississippi State, obviously Tennessee tonight, and they have Louisville on Saturday.
Bowler in the double figures. She's got 10, averaging 15.5 a game to lead Memphis in scoring. Puckett takes it inside, denied by Bailey Gilmore, who has it for the Tigers. Hageman on the reverse. And then a turnover by Tennessee.
Hageman got a hand in there to force that turnover.
Bowler launches a 3. Hollingshed with the rebound. Memphis by 6 here in the second quarter. Spencer will shoot 2.
I'm running out of adjectives to describe Didi Hageman. Right now, the 14th point of the first half for Didi Hageman. And it's not like they've been easy, but Eric, as much as the finish was beautiful, it's the smile after she finished. This young lady's having a ball right now.
Now she is going to check out right now because even though Alex Simmons says she's not leaving the floor, even she recognizes that Hageman is giving everything she's got, and she hasn't played since last March.
And that this will be a 40-minute ball game.
Another one coming for Spencer. Coming up on the K Jewelers halftime report, USC and UConn, the preview. Juju and Paige Beckers. Can we type in there one of my favorite players?
Go ahead. I was going to say, who else?
Big Sarah Strong fan here. UConn with a win yesterday. They made 23s in that win against Iowa State. It's contagious. 30 for Tennessee, 20 for Connecticut. That was a program record for the Huskies in their win over the Cyclones at Mohegan Sun yesterday.
What does Memphis do with Hageman on the bench now?
They give it to the player you had your eyes on right from the opening tip, Tanya Welsh. She's been good so far, Christy. 4 of 5 from the field, 8 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist. All alone, it's Spearman.
And now key for Welch. Keep the ball in the middle of the floor. Don't get stuck on the sideline.
Here's Sims. Tennessee averaging better than 98 points a game. #1 in Division I. They are just under 40 with 90 seconds to play here in the first half. Sims off her foot, Tennessee ball. That's turnover number 8 for the Tigers. Our first indication that things would look a little different for this Tennessee team came in their exhibition game against Carson Newman when they scored 135 and they attempted 94 shots. That's Jewel Spear for 3. After missing the last 2 games, making a return tonight and on target, she's got 14.
I think that's what's even more remarkable about the record being set against NC Central on Saturday is that Jewel Spear did not play. One of our game's better three-point shooters, and she's on the bench.
42% from 3 in her career. Foul with under a minute to go in the first half.
Jewel Spear just spots up in the corner, and against this defense, the defense has to move on the pass. That time, Tamaya Smith watches the pass. You can't give Jewel Spear that much room to get that shot off.
I know you referenced it a little bit before, but when Jewel Spear told you about you need maturity to play in this system, just expand on that a little bit. Why is that here this season for Tennessee right now?
Because it's the system. It is a matter of having faith in one another. It is a matter of having faith in yourself, of knowing what your job is in the moment. So when we talk about maturity, good or bad, this pace is going up and down so much that you have to move to that next play, which is a challenge for some young players.
So you may make 3 shots in a minute, and you may come out of the game, or you may go 0 for 3, and you're going to come out of the game because you're going to get another chance. So I guess it's just that flexibility, that maturity that you talked about. Buying into the system. Remember, Spear carried over from last year's team, so it is a big change for her. And Tess Darby and Sarah Puckett.
And again, some of this is the 5-out motion, the dribble drive that Tennessee runs, but they're also 25th in the country in assists. They're averaging 18 a game. That's unselfish. That, again, is maturity. Can you give up a good shot for a great shot?
Hageman's back on the floor, by the way, for the final minute. Boyd has an opening. A little too strong, can't get it. Size advantage for Spearman, obvious on the offensive glass.
And this has been an Achilles heel for Memphis in this season, is just when the first player gets beat off dribble penetration, the rotations have not been there.
Hageman has it knocked out of her hands, got a little aggressive with plenty of time on the game clock. Does Tennessee even hold for a final shot in this system?
I'm going to say yes here.
The answer is yes. Going to the corner, Boyd. Thrown out top the Spear with 1 second to go. The floater is no good. And that will do it for the first half. Tennessee will take a lead to the locker room at halftime. But surprisingly, this is a tight game at the break because Memphis hanging tough here at the FedEx Forum. Thanks to the tough play of Dee Hageman. Answered on the other end by Z Spearman. 1-point game at the break. The halftime report is coming up next. You're watching ESPN's Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers. I must say, a bit of a surprise here in the FedEx Forum in downtown Memphis. 18th ranked Tennessee up by just 1 at halftime over the Memphis Tigers. Eric Free, Christy Thomas-Scuddy back with you here courtside. Memphis led for 15 minutes of that first half. I know it's a very small lead for Tennessee at halftime, but if you're Memphis, you have to love everything about what happened in that first half.
I think, first of all, for the most part, they handled the ball pressure of Tennessee really well. Number 2, they stayed relatively even for the better part of that game on the glass. And number 3, Dee Hageman was really good.
Let's move number 3 up to number 1 for impactful parts of that first half for Memphis.
Well, there are debuts, and then there's a Dee debut. She was so good off the bounce, 5 of 10, and most of those were having to create, either out of transition or just realizing her team had numbers. Dee Hageman made the Lady Vols pay. And for the Lady Vols, thank goodness for Jewel Spear. 14 points, the only player in double digits. 3 of 5 from deep, and Tennessee needed every one of Jewel Spear's points there in that first half.
Spear, 5 of 8. The rest of the team struggled from the field. As a team, Tennessee shooting 37% in the first half, 6 of 18 from beyond the three-point line. Again, they made 33 pointers in their most recent game, in which they improved to 8-0 on the season. And the rebounding margin, not as big as I would have expected in that first half. It is a +5 for Tennessee. Adjustments, changes, what are some of the things that, first of all, Tennessee needs to do here in the second half, Christy?
I think be shot ready. There was a number of times where I thought they had open 3 looks, and they just weren't shot ready. Tennessee, for the most part, is on par for their averages on this season. They just need to knock some down. The other thing, though, is finish at the rim. In that first half, they were 9 of 21 at the rim. And so those are things that are easily that they can adjust to.
Kim Caldwell talked about her team, the shot selection needed to improve, but you felt like maybe they were a little hesitant on some of the shots when they were open. So.
I think the players who I like, a Jewel Spear, take the 3 when you're open. Puckett, take the 3 when you're open. Spencer, take the 3 when you're open. Spearman, take the 3 when you're open. And I like what Kim Caldwell said today. Sometimes, as she said to a couple of her players, there's a reason you're so wide open early in the shot clock.
Any adjustments that Memphis should work on, focus on put into effect here in the opening minutes of this third?
I think they've got to stay solid on the defensive glass, limiting Tennessee to those second chance opportunities. Smith has to stay on the floor for them because in terms of press breakers, she's been key as well.
Whitehorn on the offensive glass for 2. 14 offensive rebounds for the Lady Vols. 13 defensive rebounds in the first half. That's the defense from Spearmint, Memphis ball. Lady Vols' largest lead in this game, 4. They're up by 3 right now.
Well, that's because Memphis has been relentless. That time, Tanya Welch with a little change of pace, but unfortunately, Spearman there to protect the rim.
Hageman. Smith on the turnaround. Whitehorn there defensively, and here comes Cooper. Up ahead to Spear, who gets the second half start. No surprise there because she played very well in that first half, and she'll have a chance to add to her team high scoring total at the free throw line.
Where both these teams came in averaging 5 players in double digits. In that first half, only 1 for each team. Jewel Spear, Didi Hageman. So who are going to be those consistent secondary scorers for both ball clubs will be key here in the second half.
Spear heading to the line. Bowler picked up her first personal foul. They're just making sure, crossing some T's and dotting some I's at the scorer's table. About who the foul was on, perhaps. And, oh, wait, now I see. Pardon the pun, Whitehorn getting a little contact adjustment.
I'm not going to acknowledge that pun, but
so
I knew what you were doing.
It's so good. Why try to add to it? Just let it sit there. Marinate in it.
I feel like that was a dad joke.
Oh.
Bad dad joke.
.16 for Jewel Spear. Let's see how Memphis handles the pressure here in the second half. Hageman want to stay away from the sidelines, right?
Absolutely, because the sideline half court are then 2 more defenders to help Tennessee in the defense.
On the turnaround note, here's Spencer.
Tennessee's got numbers.
Tennessee's building some momentum as well. If this goes down, Tennessee's got all the momentum right now. Whitehorn with the 3. They've come out of the locker room firing, and they've outscored Memphis 7-0 to go up by 8. Hageman's got...
So she ran into Jewel Spear's shoulder, but the official saw that, and so immediately called a review as Hageman's going to the bench.
Okay, so Hageman covering her mouth. The officials have stopped play. They're going to go to the monitor here. We'll take a timeout as they sort things out here in Memphis. Back inside the FedEx Forum, the officiating crew still reviewing that last sequence, looking for an unobserved foul. So they've been at it during the entire break, and this is what they're looking at. Jewel Spear back to the camera, and Didi Hageman.
At first glance, I thought it was inadvertent, but then I kind of see a little bit of the shoulder. But we've had officials tag in, tag out to review this.
But it could still be inadvertent.
Absolutely.
Although, well, Spear does lift up just a bit now that, you know, we've blown up the shot a little bit. And I must say, they have taken a long time on this review to be sure of it. There was nothing called in real time. That they stopped play at that moment. And Mark Resch is going to fill Christie in. Hang on, you know. Going to give Joe a chance to fill us in. He's filling the coach, said, you tell us. You were just told go.
It was just incidental, and they said point of interruption, so Memphis will have the opportunity to run the baseline here as they inbound the ball.
Okay. That was very succinct. I love that.
By me? Because
yes,
I'm not ever succinct? Or?
Well, you normally are. You're a professional broadcaster. Step back. That ends a 14-0 run over a 3.5-minute period from the end of the first half to the beginning of the second half for Tennessee. Welsh with the basket, and now the steal. Hageman up ahead. Cooper sizing her up for the defensive swat. Changed the shot. Knocked out of bounds, and it will stay with Memphis.
And so usually when Kim Caldwell only subs one player out, she said to us today, it's usually an effort thing, and you see some quality teaching going on with the freshman boy now on the sideline.
Hageman giving up some size here to Spearman. Now to Smith. Bowler on the drive. Cooper standing her ground defensively. Bowler sticks with it.
You know, we talk about Tennessee's runs, but Memphis has had a couple of runs too. They get a bucket and then that defense, then they turn into some more offense.
And here comes Welsh. Welsh with the long bounce, but Cooper saw it coming and gets the steal. Turnover number 10 for Memphis. That matches Tennessee's number. Spencer for three.
Great unselfishness there by Jewel Spear. She had an open look, but that's an example. Giving up a good look for a great look. Hits Spencer in the corner. Spencer
was 0 for 3 from outside the three-point line. 0 for 5 from the field before that make. And now a foul's going to be called on Tennessee. Spencer.
Well, it starts with the defense of Tennessee. Cooper not giving up in transition. And then she passes ahead because they've got the look. Spear has a good look, but she realizes a better look to her teammate Spencer in the corner for another three-pointer for the Lady Vols.
Spencer does pick up the foul. Cooper is struggling offensively tonight, Christy. She's 1 for 9 from the field, has just 2 points. But she has 7 rebounds, 4 on the offensive end, 5 assists, 3 steals. So when you don't have it offensively, you've got to find other ways to contribute.
And I think the system allows you to do that because of the pressure defense that Tennessee runs. And we know how good they are on the glass, but we started the broadcast talking about Cooper. She is a stat sheet stuffer. And even though the ball's not going down for her, she's making an impact here tonight for the Lady Vols.
Shot clock down to 7. Hageman looking for a screen. Gets the switch. Drops it down low. Beautiful basketball. She fed it to Smith for 2. Spencer as Tennessee tries to push the tempo, and Spencer will head to the free throw line to shoot a couple.
Didi Hageman continues to be the playmaker. Sets the table this time for Smith with the dump off for the 2 for Memphis.
So the foul on Bowler, that's her second. Spencer wastes no time. She steps into it and knocks down the first. NCAA women's volleyball semifinals tomorrow on ESPN. The top 4 seeds are at the KFC Young Center in Louisville. It's Louisville and Pitt at 6:30. Penn State and Nebraska afterwards. The winners play for the national championship Sunday 3 p.m. on ABC. Traveling violation, turnover, Memphis, Tennessee basketball.
Hey, I want to go back to you. You're my volleyball expert.
Yes, what would you like?
Who's your pick? First of all, who's your pick to get to the finals? And don't say an ACC team and a Big Ten team.
An ACC team and a Big Ten team. You read my mind. One semifinal all ACC, another semifinal all Big Ten. So I like my chances. I'm calling for a Nebraska-Pitt championship with Nebraska winning it all. Is that the information you're looking for?
That's perfect, but I got caught up with Tess Darby and Bowler both having a little talk going on. And I love that Bowler knew that Tess Darby got her on that one, just smiled at her.
Darby letting her three-pointer speak for her. Now Whitehorn, no. Hollingshed couldn't control the rebound. Here's Hageman. East stretch of play here for Memphis. They've been outscored 14-6 in the third quarter. Hageman, Hollingshed on the switch.
Hageman wants people to clear out and just let her try to go to work here.
Whitehorn back on her. Whitehorn getting a hand on it. Good defense by Ruby Whitehorn. 4 to shoot. 5 Tennessee players checking in.
starting to see a little fatigue by Memphis. A number of players, hands on hips, breathing really hard right now.
And what you're seeing is the very reason why Tennessee doesn't have to deal with fatigue. One would think Bowler didn't get it off in time, shot clock violation. When you replace 3, 4, 5 at a time, you're keeping players fresh. I still need to see and figure out, like, can you get into a rhythm like that? And then that is the experiment here. And it has worked for Kim Caldwell in her past stops. Cooper, just not her night. But guess what? She got the offensive rebound and the putback. I should be clear, not her night offensively, but she's done a lot on other ends of the floor when she's unable to score.
And forces another Memphis turnover here. I think it's a great lesson for all young players. You can make an impact on this game, not just by shooting alone. I mean, Cooper staged with her miss, and then just stays there, and that's a great no call by the official.
Spear to trigger the inbound. Gets it back from Cooper, who sets the three. Spear off the mark. Here's Hageman. Hageman up ahead, open look, Cooper another rebound.
And that's the fine line. Memphis had numbers, but when you shoot quick, it allows Tennessee to get out and run.
Cooper just cannot find it on the offensive end. She's now 2 for 12, but she does have 9 rebounds and 5 assists. Hageman just going to slow things down. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be Memphis basketball when we come back to the FedEx Forum. A double-digit lead for Tennessee here in West Tennessee, third quarter. Closer and closer to conference play for all of the teams in Division I. We're running out of unbeaten teams. LSU and Tennessee, the last 2 unbeatens in the SEC. LSU knocking off Seton Hall yesterday. Another big one for Anissa Moore, 24-19 in that win.
And congratulations to Georgia Tech. Tremendous start, and Nell Fortner achieved 100 wins at Georgia Tech earlier today. So to me, that's one of the hottest teams in the ACC right now. And that's saying a lot with Duke and Notre Dame and the way they're playing right now.
We had a chance to see them in person in Atlanta a few weeks ago as they beat a Georgia team. That's a good mix of players who've been in that system at Georgia Tech for a few years. They play well together.
It's a great team. 2 juniors leading the way. They've got passers, they've got shooters, they've got speed. It's a new system there as well. They want to press, they want to put up threes, they want to play with pace. Ooh, maybe a Georgia Tech-Tennessee game. Can we get that on the books?
Cooper picks up her 3rd personal foul, so she'll head to the bench for the Lady Vols.
And you see Tennessee running this 2-3 matchup on the out of bounds.
Well, Memphis couldn't ask for much more. They got a wide open look on the baseline out of bounds play, but it's been a struggle for Hageman here in the second half. She's 0 for 3 from the field in the second half. She scored 14 first half points.
And I think this is another byproduct of this Tennessee system. It wears on you. If you don't have quality depth, as hard as Hageman played in that first half, she looks a little fatigued here in the second.
Hageman is the one who touched it last. She knows it. Tennessee ball.
I asked Jewel Spear today about this system. I said, can you tell on the floor when other teams are starting to get tired? She said, yeah, and we just feed off of it.
14 turnovers now for Memphis, 5 in the quarter. Still 4 minutes plus to go here in the third quarter. Spencer had an opening, just couldn't finish. And here comes Memphis.
And that's an area for Memphis. They've got to get better at that rotation from a weak side when the player gets beat off the bounce.
Good feed inside, but no finish by Smith. And a foul called on Smith, that's her 4th. Number 2 scorer, number 2 rebounder for this Memphis team.
You never want to compound a mistake. She misses the easy gimme, she knows it, and then just commits the silly foul. And this is an area too. In the first half, Memphis had success with this 1-2-2, forcing some turnovers. Second half, Tennessee's done a much better job of attacking it.
Spencer can't get the 3. Spearman fighting for the rebound. Hageman fighting with her, and down goes Spearman with possession. It'll be a traveling violation. Memphis ball.
I mean, you gotta love the effort of Spearman there, going for that offensive rebound, but then goes to the floor with it, hence the turnover.
Wide open look for three. Shots just not falling this quarter for Memphis. They are 0 for their last 5 from the floor. Spearman, wide open look to the basket.
Again, the rotation is not there for Memphis, so it's an easy look at the rim for Spearman.
Bowler on the pull-up. That one drops. 14 points now for Bowler. That matches Hageman for team high for Memphis. That's going to be a backcourt violation on Spearman. Couldn't control it at midcourt. Turnover Tennessee.
And one thing about this 1-2-2, it's been two things. It's forced some turnovers from Tennessee, but it's also slowed the transition of Tennessee down. Spencer's so good, make or miss, a pushing tempo for Tennessee, but this 1-2-2 has slowed her up here this evening.
Maya Smith puts it into play for Memphis. 5 points, 6 rebounds for the freshman against the top 20 team here tonight. And illegal screen's going to be called on Gilmore.
An offensive foul against Memphis number 10, Gilmore.
Second personal on Gilmore. Inside of 3 minutes to play here in the quarter. Darby, no. Welsh fighting for the rebound and wins the battle.
Great pass ahead.
Now to Bowler. Hageman with the assist.
We got a Tennessee player down.
Yeah, Tennessee player is down. Back behind the basket.
I think it's Spencer.
Samara Spencer.
Well, Eric, this play starts because of Danielle Welch's just extra effort. Great pass ahead. You see Spencer kind of with the blow-by trying to contest and just goes off the backside of the court.
Just helped up and now sitting down. Spencer, the senior from Fort Lauderdale, who was a 3-year starter in the SEC at Arkansas. 14 points a game last season. And she's going to head right off with not even a trip down towards the Tennessee bench.
It's really unfortunate for Tennessee and for Spencer. She is having an amazing season. Eric, last year, she averaged 14 points a game. She's averaging the same thing, but it's her efficiency that has been so good for the Lady Vols to this point in the season. Shooting so well from 3, 51% from 3 already.
Had a career high 33 last time out against North Carolina Central. Her previous career high 32 with the Razorbacks, so she could fill it up.
Now, how does Tennessee handle the ball pressure without their starting point guard in the game?
Spear. Darby will launch for 3 and make it. Tess Darby, 4 for 8 from outside the 3-point line. She's got 12. Inside of 2 minutes to go in the quarter. On the drive, Hollingshed gets whistled for the foul. And will send Bowler to the free throw line.
I mean, again, it's just the selflessness of Tennessee. You see Spear set up Tess Darby for yet another made 3, and Spearman's loving it. I'll say this much about Tilly Bowler. She is relentless. Like, she had a good look there, gave a shot fake, and then went in and challenged Hollingshed to get that foul.
Bowler played at Jackson State the last 4 seasons, averaged 12 points a game the last 2. She's gone for 20 or more 4 times already this season for Memphis. 81% free throw shooter, closing in on 20 again tonight.
And Eric, the veteran bowler, wanted a slap by the freshman Smith, and Smith not paying attention, and she just yelled at her, "Give me some."
1 of 2 for Bowler. She's got 17 to lead all scores. Spearman can't get it to drop. She'll go to the line to shoot a couple. Well, Tennessee has had a strong quarter. They're a +10 in scoring over Memphis, but they haven't been able to put Memphis away. The Tigers hanging tough, but Spearman a chance at the free throw line with a couple here with 1:36 to go in the quarter. A reminder, Saturday on ESPN, men's hoop triple header. Syracuse and Maryland get it going. Clemson and Wake Forest continue the party, and then it's a top 25 showdown. 16th ranked Purdue, number 2 Auburn, all coming up on Saturday.
I think I read something, there's like 6 SEC teams in the top 10 in men's basketball right now.
Off the mark. I mean, they're loaded. SEC's not too shabby either. Auburn number 2 overall in the top 25. Here's Hageman. On the pull-up, open look for Welch. Just won't drop.
All the Memphis fans in this arena knew how important that was. The utter groan as it went in and out for Welch.
A lot of groans this quarter. Memphis 0 for 4 from outside the three-point line, and they are shooting 28% overall from the field here in the third quarter. And they've had some open looks, so just not dropping.
Yeah, Cooper got away with a bad pass there. She telegraphed that pass. Memphis was ready for it, but unfortunately swiped down there, and that's why Spearman's going to the free throw line.
So Z Spearman will go to the line. She's got a double-double tonight, 11 points, 10 boards. Her first double-double as a member of the Lady Vols, and the 7th of her career. Played at Miami the last 2 seasons, averaged 6 points a game, 6 rebounds a game last season. What does she bring to Tennessee as they get closer and closer to SEC play?
She can stretch the floor with her outside shooting. She can take you off the bounce from the 3 if you try to run her off. And we've seen her ability. She's a quick leaper. She's got length, so she can rim protect, but she's also so good on the glass for the Lady Vols. And Eric, I watched a lot of film preparing for this, and I thought she was really good. I thought she was good last year at Miami, but watching her in person is just a whole nother level of what she's showing me right now in terms of her upside.
Went for a career-high 25 in her Tennessee debut against Samford. Having a good night tonight. There's a bucket for Hageman. Her first points of the second half. 16 now for Hageman. Darby, no. And back the other way comes Raven Sims. Sims all the way, can't get the layup. Ripped away by Welch. Welch rejected by Spearman. Then the block by Darby and the save to Puckett. Down to 7 to go in the quarter. Spear got it. 18 points for Jewel Spear. That rattles out, and that is the end of the third quarter. A very strong quarter for Tennessee. They scored 27 in the third, and they're up by 15 as we head to the fourth here in Memphis. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Kay, the official partner of couples who love the game. Lots of love about the game of D.D. Hageman making her Memphis debut here today. You saw after she got her first points in the second half, she was down for a bit. You can see she's taken a minute to get back onto the floor here. This is what happened on that drive to the basket. You see it kind of like grabbing for that leg right away, and it's her first game since last March. The first guess would be it's a cramp, and you can see as we start the quarter, she's still out there trying to stretch it because it's been a while. And oh, by the way, she's not being eased into play here today.
Well, throughout that entire timeout, and the bank is open apparently after hours, but she was using the Theragun, just working on that calf. So I agree with you, Eric. I do think it's a cramp.
Bowler knocks in the three. She's got 20 for the 5th time this year and the 10th time in her career. And a travel for Tennessee on their first possession of the 4th quarter. 13 turnovers for the Lady Vols, 15 for Memphis.
Kim Caldwell trying to get her team up to get into the run and jump here.
Memphis, an opportunity, breaking that pressure, and then a foul will send Raven Sims to the free throw line.
Well, Eric, there are blocked shots and there are affected shots. That should have been an easy 2 for Sims, but because Spearman's rotating over, she kept doing the pump fakes. Lucky to get the foul there and get to the free throw line.
So Sims, the sophomore from Memphis, will step to the free throw line to shoot a couple, try to bring it back down to a 10-point game. Memphis led by as much as 6 in the first quarter. They gave up that lead and trailed by 1 after the first quarter. Then they had an 11-0 run in the second quarter, led by 7. And then it was a 7-0 run to close the quarter by Tennessee to go up by 1 at the break. Tennessee stretching it out to a 15-point lead after 3, but the first 5 points of the 4th quarter going to Memphis. And a deflection out towards midcourt. Spear picks it up for the Lady Vols. Tennessee playing without Samara Spencer, who left the game in the 3rd quarter with an injury. Cooper couldn't get it. Spearman can't get the rebound. Here's Sims on the push. Sims to the basket. Sims with the finish.
Alex Simmons was trying to get a timeout call there, and they didn't grant it.
You got to signal for a timeout pretty quickly when Tennessee's on the floor. They're not going to waste any time getting the ball in bounds.
Well,
Puckett.
Alex's credit, she was on the floor trying to get it.
Even that's not quick enough. Puckett to Spearman through her hands. 8 to shoot. Turnover, Tennessee. Welsh steps through, and she'll go to the free throw line. I think the foul's on Cooper, and if it's Cooper, it's her 4th. No, it's going to be Puckett. Puckett on the foul.
Well, Raven Sims is on a minute restriction, so she's trying to make the most of this limited minute to start this 4th quarter. Went coast to coast with that. You could tell the whole way down, just sizing up the defense, gets the big bucket.
Good sign here for Tennessee. Samara Spencer is back on the floor for the Lady Vols after she went back to the locker room area, so good to see number 7 out there. She's flexing her left leg at the moment. Welsh misses the first. There you see the senior. One of 2 for Tanya Welsh. She's got 11, 3 in double figures for Memphis.
Memphis going into a matchup zone here in the half court.
Latham, the entry to Hollingshed. Spencer will try a deep 3. Welcome back to the game, Samara Spencer. Hageman, Whitehorn gets whistled for the foul.
Well, Samara Spencer definitely has a sweet spot on the court, and it is in that middle third. I think she's feeling pretty good right now.
She'll head off with the other 4 who were on the floor a moment ago for Tennessee. 5 new players come on for the Lady Vols. Trying to wear Memphis down here as we get deeper and deeper into this game. Hageman certainly one to watch, making her season debut here tonight for Memphis. One of 2. Hageman has played 30 minutes.
30 hard minutes, handling the ball pressure against the full court press.
Cooper got it.
We talked about it. Who's the player for Tennessee when you know you just need that bucket? It's Cooper.
Welsh. Hageman defended by Boyd. Now Spear on the switch. 8 to shoot. Hageman, the kick. Outside Bowler, open three is good. Tilly Bowler with 23 points, 2 shy of her career high. It's an 8-point game. Puckett wide open three, no. Sims boxing out a couple of Tennessee players to make sure it's Memphis basketball.
Well, it starts with the dribble penetration of Didi Hageman, and then the extra pass by Smith, and Bowler doing what a veteran needs to do. Knocks down the big shot for the Tigers.
23 points, matches Tilly Bowler's season high. It's the 3rd time she's done it already this season in 10 games. Cooper making it tough on Welsh across half court.
Eric, I got to say this. Tennessee players are sucking a little wind right now. Not something we're used to seeing in this system.
Hageman on the drive. Rebound for Spear.
I think Hageman got away with a push-off there.
Spear. Spearman. Spearman to the free throw line. It's still some more talk with Bowler.
Both players just got warned by the officials.
Substitutions for Tennessee. You know who I am concerned about? The official score. Keeping track of all the comings and goings for Tennessee this season
You think they got
is a challenge.
Carpal tunnel right now?
Yes, I think they need to sub out. Couple of free throws here for Spearman. First round matchups of the 12-team college football playoff. Notre Dame, Indiana, Friday night on ESPN and ABC. TNT has Saturday's first 2 games. SMU, Penn State at noon. Clemson, Texas at 4. And then we wrap up the night with Ohio State hosting Tennessee. That's on ESPN and ABC.
Nope. Lady Vols were just talking about how their Saturday game got moved up. I wonder if it got moved up because of that big football game. It did it, just in case anyone's coming at me. Tulsa needed to move the game up.
Hollingshed there defensively to deny Welch.
That's what I like about the bigs of Tennessee. We've talked about how they can knock down the three, they can beat you off the bounce, but it's their ability to defend off the bounce as well and protect the rim.
Tennessee basketball after the stop on defense. Spencer across half court with 6 minutes to play in the 4th. Cooper. Spearman getting on the offensive glass. In trouble is Smith. And a turnover. Tennessee swarming on defense. And a tie-up Tennessee ball.
Oh,
Cooper to the basket.
and Memphis knew that was something Cooper liked to do, just miscommunication there. No one defends Cooper for the easy 2.
8 points, 9 rebounds for Cooper tonight, go along with 5 assists. Hageman on the pull-up. Had to change her shot over Spearman. And it's lost by Tennessee. Memphis basketball.
Well, Talasia Cooper can make her presence felt in so many ways. There just reads what the defense gives her. 2 players go with a cutter. She's open to get to the rim.
Bowler's had the hot hand. Whitehorn there defensively. Bowler on the drive, strong take, good finish. Sims followed it up, still fighting and fighting a little bit too hard, and a foul is called on Memphis. Sims is the one who got the worst of it. And I think Sims is the one who got whistled for the foul. Trying to cool things down a little bit. We've seen a little escalation in conversation.
They're just chit-chatting. Not in the nicest of ways.
You just don't want chit-chatting to go to the next level.
Absolutely. And I think the officials have been on top of a lot of the chit-chat this evening. And some of it, I will honestly say, to defend these players, has just been great sportsmanship in terms of knowing that their opponent got the better of them.
Good catch, good finish. Spearman for 2 more. She's got 16, 9 in the second half. Cooper got into the passing lane, kept it in play, and here come the Lady Vols on the run. Spencer will slow things down. Doesn't stay slow for very long, though. Spearman can't hit. Second chance here, Darby with the offensive board. Darby off the mark for 3. Whitehorn on the glass.
You have to be disciplined against Tennessee because 5 players can crash.
Darby had a wide open look, and Whitehorn's going to get called for the foul. A little too aggressive, so Whitehorn gets called for, it's going to be her 4th personal foul. Timeout on the floor. 4:14 to go in the 4th.
Z Spearman came into Memphis averaging 10 points and 5 rebounds a night, and she's just been spectacular by turning that upside down. She's presented herself to her teammates. She's run the floor in transition. She's beaten smaller, quicker players off the bounce, and then, yeah, she's been the low post player to seal and score. Z Spearman has been really good here this evening.
At 7 at halftime, she's got 16 now in the game. She had that big bucket, 24 seconds left to beat Florida State. She scored 10 points in the final 5 minutes, so she knows how to turn it up down the stretch. Right now, it's a 13-point lead for Tennessee. Memphis basketball. Hageman gets it across to Welch.
Still a lot of time for Memphis, but right now they cannot afford empty possessions on offense. They need to cut into this deficit starting now.
Welsh, mistake against Spearman, and gets it for 2. She showed no fear.
I felt like her game against Troy was where she put her stamp on this program saying, get me the ball, and she is not disappointed here this evening as well.
She went for a career-high 21 against Troy. A reminder, didn't play last year, was a medical redshirt. She played in all 33 games as a freshman.
I love this set called by Memphis out of the timeout. It's an ISO. They clear everybody to the weak side. It's trying to make people think it's about the double down screen. Instead, it's a 1-on-1 for Welch to get to the rim.
Boyd picks up the personal foul, and here is Welch going to the free throw line. Redshirt sophomore from Indianapolis, empty on the first. Memphis 68% so far this season as a team from the free throw line. They're at 67% tonight.
And immediately some full-court pressure by Memphis.
Which has given Tennessee trouble at times here tonight. Yes, Boyd got to half court. It's going to be a backcourt violation. Memphis has turned it over 17 times. Kim Caldwell's team has turned it over 16 times. Boyd, Hageman, deep 2, got it. 19 for Hageman in her Memphis debut. Spear, Spencer hit from deep before, and she does it again. And she and Bowler smiling at each other as they come up the floor.
And some people who aren't used to watching Tennessee play may be like, why are they shooting so quick? This is Tennessee. This is the new Tennessee. Doesn't matter. They want to get the first quick look they get. That time Spencer makes them pay.
Inside of 3 minutes to play. Smith with the spin, and she'll earn a trip to the free throw line. Spearman picks up the personal.
Well, the deficit's been cut to 10. You see 22 seconds on the shot clock. Does not matter when, but Spencer's got the open look, and you see Bowler and Spencer just grinning at one another going down. That's the good sportsmanship, I feel. I didn't read lips. I'm too old to read those lips.
Smith to the free throw line, Johnson City, Tennessee. She began her career at Gardner-Webb, played for Alex Simmons there. Simmons, as we mentioned before, 5 seasons, successful seasons at Gardner-Webb before coming to Memphis. Now in her 2nd year. Smith's been battling foul trouble here tonight. Brings it to 11. Memphis needs stops. Cooper floats it up. No, sticks with it. Yes. 12 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists for Talasia Cooper.
You always feel like Cooper knew she didn't really have a good shot, but she knew she could get the offensive rebound.
Hageman in the corner, steps back for 3. Won't go. Look who's on the glass. Tanya Welsh. Inside of 2 minutes to play in the 4th here at the FedEx Forum in downtown Memphis.
It's a must stop for Memphis.
Hollingshed rolls to the basket and gets the hoop. First points for Jillian Hollingshed. Spencer tried to get the steal, but got the arm. Foul called on Tennessee. Hageman back behind the play.
I think she's just trying to catch her breath right now. This young lady's played so hard in her first game back. Welsh just making that pass ahead, and that looked pretty clean to me.
Tennessee trying to sort out their personnel. They've got 6 on the floor right now.
I'm sure to opponents, a lot of times it feels that way.
Feels that way, yes. Well, what do you think? Is this sustainable when they get into the SEC? I think it's going to be interesting. Obviously, it depends on, and we know who's in the SEC. Defending national champion South Carolina, Texas New League, LSU. There's a handful of really good
Oklahoma
teams in the league. Yes. How do you think this Tennessee system will play out when they get into conference play?
I'm going to approach it if I was coaching against them. Everyone's going to talk about the threes. To me, it's about taking care of the basketball and keeping them off the glass. That's where Tennessee, despite not shooting that well from 3 the majority of this game, stayed in this game and then took a lead. And then at the same time, you've got to make sure that 5-on-5 you can contain the dribble penetration and box out, because these guards have been leading Tennessee in rebounding so far this season.
Spencer will head to the free throw line to shoot a couple. The only thing that's going to be interesting to see how it's handled is Kim Caldwell becoming a mom. Her due date is January 20th, and you wouldn't know it, by the way. And she just said, you know what? When it happens, it happens. She's pretty confident that she's not going to miss much time on the sidelines for Tennessee.
I love the answer. I mean, like, you can just tell she is dialed in as a head coach. Now, that's not to say anything about her being a mom. She's ready for that as well.
Well, I'm sure she's dialed in to being a mom, and she's got all sorts of things that she's prepared for.
She's ready to be a mom. She's over the pregnancy.
Well, she's got a team ready to help her be able to coach her team.
Well, she's got babysitters galore here. Look at that. And I'm sure they may even sub in and out each night babysitting. Hageman got called for multiple touches there.
So final minute, 13-point game. Memphis, they will take on Louisville here at the FedEx Forum Saturday afternoon. So a couple of back-to-back tough ones to get them ready for play in the American. Louisville is their final non-conference game. They'll host Wichita State New Year's Day on campus. This is a team that was picked 7th in the American preseason poll, followed by Spearman for 2 for Tennessee.
Here's what I'm going to say about Memphis. I feel like we have a BDD and an ADD. Before DD and after DD. What I saw from Memphis tonight tells me that this team has the potential to make a run in the American this season. They need to shore up a couple things on defense.
Timeout is called by Memphis. We'll take it as well with under a minute to go here in the fourth. D.D. Hageman, memorable debut for Memphis, 19 points, 7 of 18 from the field. 3 rebounds and 4 assists. But Memphis is going to run out of time against 18th ranked Tennessee here at the FedEx Forum tonight. But Memphis hung tough for a long time against Tennessee. Hageman can't hit. Both teams still battling down to the final seconds, and it'll be Tennessee basketball.
And Eric, I think one other thing from Memphis is that they're going to get some players back that are currently out with injury, and that's just going to shore up a little bit more of that post position for them. Memphis just being told not to foul here.
We talked about Riddick and Fulmore among those who would be playing big minutes. Hageman going to make Spencer work for it. In the end, Tennessee puts 90 on the board, which is under their season average, by the way. So maybe a little off night offensively. But the Lady Vols are 9-0. They come to West Tennessee and knock off Memphis 90-75 the final.
It's an exciting style to watch. We're ready for the threes, but I like the defense. I like that they can turn you over and they're going to be relentless on the glass. But they still got some things to shore up before SEC play.
They'll hop on a plane tonight, head down to Florida, take on Richmond on Friday in the West Palm Beach Classic. Tulsa to follow on Saturday before their SEC opener January 2nd at Texas A&M. And then they host Oklahoma and they host LSU. We're getting closer and closer to conference play in the SEC and the American. Tonight it was close for a long time, but it's a win for Tennessee over Memphis by 15. For Christy Thomas Scuddy and our entire crew, I'm Eric Freed. So long from Memphis.